Hi all, welcome to yet another video of Korean Pho. So today, I'm about to do a video which I have been waiting to do for a very long time. And I promised you guys this video that I will release this video long time ago. But yeah, finally I'm gonna put that video together. And today, we're gonna talk to you guys about the driving license related details and everything about it for anyone who's traveling to Vietnam and planning to stay here long term or even on a short trip. So let's get started. All right, welcome back. So before we talk more about the Vietnamese driving license and how we can ride bikes in Vietnam and all that, let me give you three different type of licenses commonly used by expats and travelers alike. So these are A1, A2, and B1. So A1 is for all bikes or motorcycles below 175cc. So this is the license which is mainly used in Vietnam by all Vietnamese, and it's most common license because most of the motorcycles in Vietnam or scooters are below 175cc. You know, if you go to a retail shop, that's what you will see, and you might see one rare piece which is over 175cc. So it's very common here that more, bikes which are below that power. Okay, so the next one is B2, and B2 is for all bikes above 175. And those are like Harley and all that. You know, if you need to ride big bikes, you need to get A2. Very less number of bikes in between that 75 to 500 range. I would say it's not less bikes, it's like less bike owners, I would say. They are not so interested. So if they're normal consumers, they will go for 175, below 175 cc. And if they're a bike enthusiast, then they will definitely go for buying big bikes like Harley or Honda Big Wing, all those kind of African Twin or CB500 or Triumph Street Twin, all those bigger bikes, or Royal Enfield. But Royal Enfield is phased out from the country. I'm not sure why, but yeah, they left Vietnam. So if you want to ride a big bike, get an A2 license. If not, just stick with an A1. But if you have an A2 license back home, just get an A2 license. It's that easy, it makes less paperwork in the future. So the next one is B1, and B1 is for cars, both manual and automatic, but up to 9 seats. And with this license, you can only use it for personal use. You cannot do any commercial rides with that license. So that's the major difference between B1 and B2. B2 can, allows you to ride or drive cars for commercial purposes as well. So stick with B1. That's what expats and travelers do. All right, so coming to the second point. Here I'm going to talk about how you can legally ride or drive in Vietnam if you're coming for a short stay. That's like if you're a tourist or if you're planning on a motorbike ride from south to north or north to south, and you just want to be in Vietnam probably for less than a month. All right. So Vietnam follows the 1968 convention for road traffic and all that. So if your home country follows that convention, then basically you can get an IDP from your home country and can legally ride or drive in Vietnam. No problem whatsoever. However, if your home country follows the 1949 convention, then you're totally screwed because you're not legally allowed to ride or drive in Vietnam unless you own a Vietnamese license. So basically you have to come here and transfer your home country license to a Vietnamese license, and then you're legally allowed to ride or drive. But for all the Indians out there, sadly we follow 1949 convention, and we are not allowed to, legally not allowed to ride or drive in Vietnam unless we own a Vietnamese license. So basically you have to be here and get the Vietnamese license transfer done, and then you can ride or drive. But most of the people don't do that. You can just get your IDP done and keep that with you, because basically people will travel probably for 5 to 10 days or even a month. Um, yeah, I wouldn't suggest that to do anything illegal, but a lot of people do that. You can just get your IDP done and you're pretty good to go. All right, so let's talk about how to get your Vietnamese license. All right, so this have two steps involved. One is the documentation, and the second one will be the process. All right, let's talk about the documentation. Before we talk about any documents, make sure to have 2 copies of all the documents that I'm going to say and get it attested, locally attested, not from your place, from here, from Vietnam. So if you don't know how, ask around. Ask anyone who's there where you live or place where you're going to rent, or ask a Vietnamese friend of yours, and they will be more than happy to help you out. All right, so find that place and get these documents, at least 2 copies, and get it attested. So the very first thing is your passport itself. All right, and if you're coming for a short-term stay, you can just get your passport and the visa. Okay. The second one will be your TRC. TRC is basically for people who are here for long term, people who own businesses, who are working here, who are married to Vietnamese and things like that. So they will have TRC, temporary resident card. Get that, get a copy and get it attested. So I'm not going to say this part every time, like get copies and get it attested because you need to do that for all the documents. All right. Now, the third one will be your driving license itself, all right, from your home country. The fourth one will be the translation of your driving license. This needs to be done locally here because probably it cannot be done from your home country. So, just find an agency who can do the translation work and they will get that document attested as well. Get at least 2 copies of that. Now, once you have that, you need to also have a residential certificate, and this can be done not by you. Basically, your house owner have to do that. Whoever is going to rent it to you probably will do that registration process with the local police office, and they're supposed to give that paper to you. If they're not doing it, then basically you're screwed. You have to go through that process by yourself. Some, they don't do it. If you're looking for a cheap place and things like that, you might come into problems with your owner to do the registration process with the police, because not all can rent their houses to foreigners. So before they rent out the houses to foreigners, they are supposed to register with their local police or something like that. There is some rules and regulations like that, and that's the reason why you need to have that paper, because in your license there will be a residential address, and they can do that only if you provide that residential certificate. So that's need to be done. You need to have 2 photos of yourself, and lastly, you might need a form which can be found in the office where you go and submit these documents. Now, let's get to the process. Here, I'm just going to say that you have to go to some driving license issuing authority. I'm not sure what they actually called in Vietnam, but I know the Vietnamese name, and I'll put it down here. It's different name here in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi. I don't know why, but yeah, that's how it is. So you need to go over there. That's where you will get the form, which I said earlier. Fill that form and submit your documents, and you're supposed to pay somewhere around 250 to 400K. I'm not sure how much is the price because I applied a long time ago, like not so long, 2 years ago. But then I paid, I guess, somewhere around 280 or 300, something like that. So keep at least 400 to 500K handy with you, 400 to 500,000 Vietnam dong handy with you. And then basically you pay that, and they will ask you to wait because they will take a live photo which will be printed on your driving license. How fancy, huh? You give a photo to them, and they will not put that photo onto the driving license. Rather, they will take a photo of you and put that, where you will look so ugly. To be frank, I look so weird in my photo. So yeah, they will take a photo of you, and once you're done with that, your process is basically done. They will give you a receipt with the date when your license will be released, and you can go and pick up the license from the same office, or you can get it home delivered. But make sure you go and pick it up from the office itself rather than getting it delivered, because the delivery guy can miss it sometimes. So make sure you go pick it up yourself so that you're gonna get your license. All right, so basically that's the entire process. It can take up to 7 to 20 days to process your license, depending on how busy they are, and how many tourists are coming to Vietnam. For Americans, because they come here with a 6 months to a year long visas, but for Indians, we are unlucky. We do get only 3 months tourist visa. So I would say that, if you're coming for a 3-month tourist visa, um, I would say save up all that hassle and probably just get your IDP done from your home country and travel here. That's the best way to go. Now, for Indians, another thing that you need to keep in mind: get your IDP done. Don't come here without your IDP, because they don't understand what does our license means. Because for us in India, motorcycle with gear and motorcycle without gear, there are only two types like that. So even though my license is motorcycle with gear, which allows me to ride any bike in India, but that doesn't apply here. They were confused and they asked me like, okay, what is the power and what power of motorcycles I can ride and things like that. And when I said that I can ride all kind of it, they said, oh, you need to prove that. You need to get some letter or something to verify that your license is valid to ride any bike in India, and then they can just transfer it here. So, but sadly, I took this license when we were hit by COVID, so I was not able to travel back to India to get my IDP done. It's been almost 2.5 years. I haven't been to India, and I'm eagerly waiting for Vietnam to open up the borders and everything so I can, easily travel to India. So that said, if you have the IDP done, you can easily transfer for an A2 license. And always, if you have a car and bike license from your country, get it transferred the same way here. So you can save up a lot of time and effort in the future. So if you have a motorcycle and car license from India or from US, just transfer the same thing here. And another thing for Americans, if you own a car license in your country and if you do not have a motorcycle license, you can transfer your car license to a motorcycle license, but there's a small hiccup there. You need to go for a practical test. That means a road test, something like that. You need to go for a motorcycle test where you take a aid and you need to ride and show them. But you can skip your writing test. That's the major one. Writing test is so tough because it's all in Vietnamese, which you can't do. So if you're an American, you have a car license, you can get an A1 license, not an A2, A1. A1 is for bikes, anything below 175cc. So, however, you just need to go for the road test. But for that, I always suggest you to apply through an agency, because they can help you and assist you by giving a bike and you can try it out and things like that. But for others, I suggest just follow these steps, save up the money that you give to agency. They might take you somewhere around 500 to a million Vietnam dong just for doing all these things, which you can do it yourself if you have time. So that's basically it. That's how you get your Vietnamese license. Hope this video was informative, and make sure to click that subscribe button and like this video, share with your friends and colleagues. Whoever is planning for a travel to Vietnam, this video might be useful for them. All right, so thanks again for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. And please comment down below if you would like to know anything related to Vietnam and the law of the land. I'm more than happy to make another video about it. So stick around and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care. Ciao.